Hello, good evening, everybody. I know I'm a few minutes late and I'm so sorry. Trying to get children in baths and get ready for the week. But it is me. I'm here just a few minutes late, but at least I am here. This is Tameika Devine, your work life integration strategist and leadership mentor and founder of the Possibilities Institute, where I work with women leaders and moms to help them discover their leadership possibility, maximize their potential, and live a life that leaves a legacy. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Hey, Kim. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Deborah. Good to see you guys. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you as well. So, anyway, it is a pleasure to be here again this evening with you guys. I've gotten a lot of response with you guys. Okay, Wanda, I will definitely speak to your spirit. I've gotten a lot of response from my message last week. And so this week I decided to listen to my husband again. Last week's message, he gave me kind of some of the he gave me my topic for last week and encouraged me. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. He encouraged me to bring last week's message, and so this week's message I decided to kind of take on a message that he posted on his Facebook page last Friday. And for those of you who are also friends with my husband, Jamie Devine, who is on here too. Hello, darling. How are you? But you know that every morning after his morning meditation, he posts a message and trying to be, or not trying to be, he is inspirational and enlightening, and people love his post every morning. I always get people ask me when they see me, they're like, your husband is just anointed. Is he going to be a pastor? And I always say, I have no idea what God has in store for him, but he does live his life, always wanting to be better and to inspire others. And so I'm very blessed to have him. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Linda. Hey, Avernette, good to see you. It was great to see you yesterday. But thank you guys for tuning in. I will tell you guys that I am going to bring you a great message this evening, and I think that a lot of people need to hear it. So please, please, please feel free, if you think that there is someone out there who needs to hear this message, please share it out with them, or let them listen in. And thank you for the hearts and the likes, and please make sure that you share this with other folks. But I'm not going to stay on too long. For those of you who might be new to watching my live streams, as I mentioned when I introduced myself, I am Tameika Devine, and I am a work-life integration strategist and leadership mentor. And most people are like, wait a minute, I thought you were a councilwoman and a lawyer. Yes, I am those things as well. But my husband and I founded the Possibilities Institute several years ago, where we do our public speaking. Hey, Sharon. We do our public speaking and our consulting and coaching. And that really is something that God led us to do, primarily with me, in working with women leaders and moms, because we are always struggling with work-life integration. We're always struggling on how to keep everything, all the balls in the air, and juggling all the stuff that we need to. And so a lot of times people will come up to me and say, Tameika, how do you do everything that you do? You're a wife, you're a mom, you're a lawyer, you're a councilwoman. How do you keep all the balls in the air? How do you do all the stuff that you do? And so I definitely try, I've perfected some strategies on work-life integration, but I'm always trying to just be true to myself and do more. And so I started the Possibilities Institute and coaching, trying to help women with the same thing. And I started these live streams a couple months ago on Sundays, just to share a message that might be inspirational to you or really help you with the week. And so make sure that you join me here every Sunday evening at 7:30 or a couple minutes after. I know I was late today in with listening to a message. I try not to stay on too long. I try and keep it short and sweet, but something that certainly can speak to you and inspire you. But anyway, my message today that I wanted to bring is, hey, John Adams, good to see you. The message today, and I did actually make some notes today because I didn't want to kind of forget what I wanted to talk about. But those of you who watch Jamie or watch his post, he posted Friday. He said, don't attend every argument that you are invited to. And he got a lot of response. I mean, people were like, amen to that and speak to me. It's so timely. And it just showed me that this is a topic that I felt like I needed to elaborate on. And I laughed when he posted the message on Friday because I felt like he was, hey, come on, Finch. I felt like he was speaking to me. This is advice that my husband always gives me. He gives me this advice all the time because, as you can imagine, in my line of work as an attorney, which I argue for a living, basically, but also as a counsel person, and particularly particularly someone who is the only or sometimes very few women in the room at different things that I go to. I am really, sometimes I struggle with being as forceful as I like to be sometimes, making sure that, hey, Rhonda, making sure that I disagree respectfully, but also recognizing that everybody has their own opinion. But sometimes I've learned, and y'all probably have learned this as well. Sometimes when you kind of go back at somebody, they say something and they may start it, and they're coming at you for an argument. And although you might want to just give your opinion respectfully, but show that you disagree with them, it starts a whole argument that is not necessary. And so Jamie is always in telling me and kind of encouraged me, pick your battles. You don't have to fight everything. Hey, Rosalind, you don't have to fight every fight. You don't have to always respond when people respond, especially when you know the purpose as to why they're responding. They might not be responding or might not be saying or picking the fight with you or starting the argument with you to really have an intellectual, reasonable discussion. They might be really doing it to push your buttons. And I will just say that, I'm in a lot of spaces in which I really have to look at whether or not my articulating my disagreement, or Claire said, I tell my children this all the time. Yes. Am I really, if there's really a point at me responding to the person, especially this day and age in social media. And you guys know this, and I know John Adams, who's on here, at John, I love that. Hey, Avis, good to see you, sweetheart. But it is important to us in this day and age to know that we really have to pick our battles. With social media the way it is, there are some folks who like to be just starting arguments just for the sake of starting arguments. And you could be going back and forth with them all day, every day, and you still will never really have a good meeting of the minds. And so I just wanted to leave you with 3 reasons why you should not always attend a fight that you're invited to. And so the first thing I wanted to share with you is understand that even if your position is rational, even if your position is backed by facts, even if your position is articulated in a really respectful, but very compassionate but passionate manner, you may not be able to convince the person on the other side because they've already made up their mind. They don't care what facts and figures you give to them. They don't care how rational your argument is. They don't care what you have to bring to the table. They've made up their mind. They're not going to listen to you, but they're just looking at ways to continue to egg you on and pull you out. And I always say, you've got to realize that, the saying that, you shouldn't argue with a fool. And I'm not saying that the person that you're arguing with or that you're disagreeing with is a fool, but certainly if they're not rational or if they're not open to hearing the things that you're going to present, then you're wasting your time. And so you've got to realize, kind of why are you doing this? And even if you have a very rational argument on the other side, you might just say, I agree to disagree, and then walk away. And so just remember, reason number 1 is even rational arguments sometimes cannot, rational arguments cannot convince an irrational person. So That is one reason why you definitely don't want to go at it with the person who invites you to an argument. The second reason that I put down here is just think about, does it really matter? And I'm thinking about a discussion I had with somebody on Facebook. And I posted something, they posted something in response. I tried to clarify my post. They came back again, and it ended up that I realized that at the end of the day, it really didn't matter. They had their thought. I had my thought. I wasn't going to change their mind. They weren't going to change my mind. But the issue was so minute. It was just so minute. It didn't really make any difference. So, the second reason that you don't want to attend every argument that you're invited to, and Jamie added on his other part of the post was know when to move on. Yes, know when to move on. Doesn't really matter. If it's not important, then move on. It is not important to have that discussion, have that argument. Let that person have their opinion. You move on, and then, and they'll move on as well. So that is reason number 2. And then the third, I think most important reason that you need to just move on, know when to move on, do not attend every argument that you're invited to is, guys, life is too short. And stress levels do not need to be elevated when you're dealing with people who might not really matter. And so know, again, that sometimes people's motivation for coming to you, for arguing with you, to start a discussion that will elevate into an argument or a very staunch disagreement, is, to really push your buttons, to take you outside your comfort zone. Especially, I will say to those of you out here, we've got to think about, and I always tell people this, when I talk about work-life integration, I'm Tameika. I'm always Tameika. I say sometimes, I always have on the hat of wife and mom and attorney and councilwoman. Although we try and compartmentalize our life, the reality is in this day and age, we're always wearing all our hats. And so I may be at a PTO meeting and I think I'm Mom Tameika, but the people in that PTO meeting know that I'm Councilwoman Tameika. And so if I let somebody push my buttons and I, go off or, go outside of my space or whatever, then honestly, Lorna says the last word is not always the final say. It's just, yes. But if I let somebody kind of take me outside of my normal, then I'm the one who, they've basically won because they have taken me outside of what I normally would do. And so going back to that, life is too short. I don't need to let people anger me. I don't need to let them push my buttons. I don't need to let them pull me outside of who I am. And I share with you before I end, I shared this one time before, to somebody. I started off a day with an attorney who was just a pure D, you know what. I came in, I was advocating effectively for my client, but respectfully to that person. But this guy was just a jerk. He just came at me. I mean, he was just really pushing my buttons from day one. And so I finally, at the end of the day, I let him have it. Kind of came out of my normal because he really pushed my buttons. But at the end of the day, my entire day was messed up after that. My spirit wasn't right. And so I gave that person control because I let them have, I'm sorry, I shook the camera a little bit. I let them have control. I let them ruin my day. I don't know what happened to the rest of his day, but I know that my spirit wasn't right because I let him push my buttons and I went there and I actually attended that argument that I was invited to, although I could have just walked away. And so I just tell you that life is too short. We don't need to let anybody push our buttons. We don't need to let anybody take us out of where we normally would be. And we certainly don't need them to elevate our blood pressure. So anyway, those are the 3 reasons that I just wanted to share with you that you should not attend every argument that you're invited to. Recognize that in this day and age, people are going to come at you. They're going to bring you negativity. They're going to start stuff with you. Especially in a professional capacity, you will have a lot of folks who, for whatever reason, want to let other people see you in a light that isn't necessarily positive. And so you got to remember, you control your behavior, and you control the way you respond. And so with those things in mind, just know that sometimes it's just time to move on. You can say thank you, that's your opinion, and walk away. You do not have to always engage with somebody. Okay? So hopefully that has been a blessing to somebody or all of you. I hope that this week, and I will tell you, uh, I will tell you 9 times out of 10, I imagine that most of you on here this week will encounter somebody who will invite you to an argument. So I hope that me sharing this today will carry with you throughout the week, and that you remember this the next time that somebody comes at you the wrong way, and you remember, okay, this is, what did Tameika say on Sunday? Let me move on. Let me know that it's time to move on. I'm not going to engage with this person. But anyway, I know I had a lot of new people join. Let me introduce myself again. I am Tameika Isaac Devine. I am your work-life integration strategist and leadership mentor and founder of the Possibilities Institute, where I work with women leaders and moms to help them discover their leadership possibility, maximize their potential, and live a life that leaves a legacy. And I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, 7:30 here. And if you want to engage with me more, please feel free to go to my website, which is www.possibilitiesinstitute.com. And you can send me a message there or send me one on Facebook. Thanks, Claire, for the for the claps. Hey, April, you're welcome. You're very welcome. And I hope this has been a blessing to you guys. I wish you a fabulous week. Happy Success Sunday. And please remember, you don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You need to just know when to move on. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Tara. Y'all have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.